Hi everyone, this is Kona and welcome to week 11. So, what are we doing in week 11? So, week 11 is, yay, look at it. Other than this video, the only thing you really need to do is just work on stuff. So, week 11 is kind of like a work week. There's really nothing new you need to learn. It's just finishing up project 2, asking questions, getting help with project 2, and then getting started on project 3. So week 11 is really just a work week, maybe a chance to catch your breath, get caught up on some things. So what do you need to do to finish up project 2? What you need to do is, first of all, make sure you share your findings. So the purpose of this discussion is to share your story you decide to tell for project 2. Your initial post is due Thursday, follow-ups are due by Sunday. So have fun, share your findings. Then you've got your final project, final paper. You've already done so much of this. The big thing, make sure you put headings in. Make sure your headings match my headings. Please don't mix the order of things. There really is a method to the madness. This really is the way research papers in APA style are organized for the most part, and this is how things are done normally in statistics. So please, I appreciate any desire to be creative, but that's not this paper. So sorry, not sorry. But yeah, you've already done your introduction, you've already gotten feedback on the methodology, you've already got feedback on all of your results. The only thing you need to write up is the conclusion. Make sure you've got your references works cited, you've got your appendix, come up with your abstract. So basically, even though this looks like a lot, most of it is just tweaking and putting it all together into one big paper. Nothing here should be earth-shattering unless you had a lot that you needed to fix on another section, but at least that way you know you need to fix it and you can take the time and make sure you do a good job on this. Because this is worth 100 points. In fact, this might be so far in the class the assignment that's worth the most points in the class. So you want to do good on this. So take your time, go through things, and make sure you're awesome with it. So what else? So that takes care of project 2. Project 3 information. So what are we doing for project 3? So project 3 is a fun project. And I say that, and you might laugh at me, but no, really, project 3 is a fun project that I think pretty much all of my students in previous classes have always really enjoyed. And that's because this really is your own project. You get to pick, first of all, the types of products that you want to sample or that you want to look at. You will need 30 items, so 30 more similar items, so like beauty products, grocery items, household goods, something like that. So 30 different items. So like if you were doing grocery items, you could do, Ritz crackers and a bottle of soda, like a 2-liter thing of Pepsi, and a gallon of milk and a carton of eggs, or, package of cheese, whatever, I don't care. But those would be, you'd pick 30 items. The big thing is that you want to find items where you can find identical items in both stores that you pick, because then you're going to pick 2 stores, so like Walmart and Kroger, Walmart and Aldi's, but you want to make sure that they are like identical or extremely similar. So if you're using Aldi's, then you would probably want to compare Aldi's, gallon of milk to the Walmart brand of milk. If you're going to do Aldi's, shredded cheese, then you would want to use the Walmart brand shredded cheese. So you see how you want to do apples to apples. You want to compare very similar things. But you get to pick. I don't care. I've had students do pet supplies. I've had students do golf-related things. I've had students do electronics, gun supplies. I mean, just all sorts of things. As long as you can find 30 different items that are all similar and that you can find at 2 different stores, the world is your oyster, whatever you would like. You can use online stores, but the big thing with the online stores is you have to make sure there's an actual difference in price. So I think one example was Ulta and Sephora. There is virtually no price difference between Ulta and Sephora, and you're not sure what those are. That's okay. They're women's beauty products. Well, I guess not technically women's, but they're health and beauty products that most women know what it is, but whatever, if you don't, that's fine. But there is like no price difference. Well, if there's no price difference, that leaves you nothing to talk about So don't use those two stores. So that's where if you do decide to do this online, you have to pick stores that you can actually there is a difference. So for that reason, be very hesitant or very careful if you decide to do online stores. I'm not saying you can't, but I will call you on it and you'll have to go back and redo it if you collect all of your data and there's basically no difference between the prices. You have to find, do something where there's at least some difference between the prices. Once you collect the data, which, hey, big thing, do not collect until you've gotten the green light from me, right? So there are phases. Do not collect the data until I give you the green light. Once you collect the data, you'll collect it, put it in a Minitab file, you'll then analyze it and write it up. So basic components that we have, every other week, so nothing new there. So what are we doing with this week? So how are we getting started? Well, the first thing is you're going to do a discussion on brainstorming for Project 3. And so this is just read that Project 3 information, then come up with 3 different types of items you'd like to compare and the 2 stores you'd pick for the comparison. So like I said, beauty products from CSV and Target, types of gun ammo from Dick's and Bass Pro, grocery items from Walmart and Kroger. These are just examples. You do whatever you want, but you do need to come up with 3 different types of things, just because I want you to really think about it and I want you to be able to share this so other people can get ideas and then you can kind of try to figure out what you think would be the best. So this is just the brainstorming, and this should be a pretty easy discussion. Then that will lead into the actual project planning. So for this one, so basically take the information from that Project 10 brainstorming, and then what you would want to do is you're not collecting the data. Do not collect the data, but what you will do is, first of all, on the document, say what type of items, products you're comparing, and at the 2 stores. Why did you pick these types of items and the stores to compare? You need 30 items that you're comparing. Come up with a tentative list. Make sure they are exact or very similar. So for example, like 12.5 ounces of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, exact, or 12.5 ounces of the store brand cream of mushroom soup, very similar. But you want this to be as close to possible, as close to the same as possible. If you're doing an online store, make sure there is a difference in prices. Don't actually collect the data, but you want to make sure there's a difference in prices. Now you need to think about how you're going to collect the data. Will you use in-store prices or sale prices? Only use the original price. Side note, it might be good to write both down. Create a table you can use to collect the data. The table needs to include a place for a specific brand, size, all of that information. So you really do need to. So if you see the example, you really do need to include, exactly the 2-liter, 15.5 ounce regular flavor Doritos. Here you just see Walmart and Kroger. That would be if you're just taking a regular price. And here's if you want to include like a Savers card price or anything like that. Just remember, don't collect the data. But other than that, that's really, and I say other than that, and I talked for like 8 minutes, but in theory this week really is just finishing up Project 2 and getting started on Project 3. So, look forward to seeing what you guys come up with this week.